Hello and welcome. This guide will cover the Material and Texture Building tool, as well as Material Mass Injection tool. To help you understand how to use these tools in your own project, we'll walk through the entire process, from referencing and coloring to building and finally mass injecting. All the objects you see in the scene utilize multiple materials per object. Specifically, they all use two materials, and they all share the same two materials. For this example, we will edit one of the two materials, build it, and then inject the material into some or all of the suitable models in the scene. So let's get started. First, reference one of these models, select the material of interest, and start editing. Notice that even though we are editing only a single object, all the other objects in the scene that use the same material are being colorized too. It's important to know that this is a temporary state and will not last until we decide to apply these changes. This brings us to the Build tool. In the Build tool, we have two options. The first is to override current texture. If we do this, all models using the shared texture will be permanently affected by the edit because we overrode the texture they all share. However, this is not recommended for original textures, as it's a permanent effect, and reversing it would require re-importing the texture. The second and most common option is to generate a new material and texture. When we do this, the original material and texture will revert to their original state, while the newly created texture will retain all the color changes we made. Let's go ahead and enable Auto Assign to Current Object, and now let's build. As you can see, the new material is now assigned to the object we edited, while all the other objects have reverted to the original material and texture. But what if we want to inject this new material into some or all of the other objects that were using the edited material? That's where the injection tool comes in. In Colorize Pro, the injection tool has been upgraded with extra functionalities. One of these new functions includes the ability to inject any material into the entire scene based on your preferences. To make it easier, the material we just created and the original material we edited have already been referenced for us automatically. First, select the By Scene Search and Replace mode. Then, click the Find Material to Replace button. This will locate the referenced material in the entire scene and tell you how many objects currently use it. Next, click the Injection button. You can test this, and if you don't like the results, you can always undo it using the provided button. But what if you don't want to inject it into all the objects in the scene and only want to inject it into models similar to the one we just edited? Well, there's an easy solution. Simply switch from Material Matching mode to Material and Name Matching mode. In this mode, you can write the name of your object and select the percentage name similarity that you're comfortable with. At 100%, only objects with the exact same name will be injected, and at 0%, all objects that utilize the material will be injected instead. As you adjust the similarity percentage slider, you'll see how many objects are found for injection, giving you an idea of how many items will be affected. If you don't like the results, you can always undo the injection and try again with a different similarity percentage. By the way, instead of manually typing the name, you can simply reference the object, and it will automatically copy the name. Now, If you want even more control, you can switch to the manual referencing mode, where you can manually reference all the objects of interest and inject them. For this example, make sure to select Replace Specific Material, since the objects have multiple materials. Then you can reference the objects of interest and inject them. In our case, we want to inject all the materials on the left side. We can either reference them one by one, or reference the parent and extract objects from it. Thank you for watching. Please note that this tool is in its experimental stage and is still under active development. For any bugs or recommendations, please reach out on our Discord server, where we have an active community and a dedicated support team.